Hello everyone and welcome to part 14 of the React series. Today I plan to add conditional rendering based on the state and update the app to reflect it. Make sure you are comfortable with React state hook and props. The task is to completely hide the form on the screen and only show it when we click this blue button and submit the new user. And also do subscribe if you are new and don't miss out on any part of this tutorial. Let's get started. I have already shown how to use conditional rendering in React. Now I will use one of the examples to add conditional logic to a form. We have the user form inside the app component, so I will apply all of the logic within the app file. We have already created and tested form submission. First, we are going to register a state using the const and destructuring pattern. Specify the variable called addForm and a state updating function called setAddForm, which is used to update the initial value with the default value of useState being boolean false. The status determines whether the form appears on the screen. Now in JSX, within curly braces, I will embed a condition using the JavaScript expression to ampersand to the user form component. So here I will select this line and press shift and curly braces. It will add it around it. And for the verify the value of the add form, I will add this here and use the conditional logic, and here it will check add form variable's value turn out to be false, so it won't output the form on the screen. However, if I set the boolean value false to true and save it, it will evaluate the expression and display the form on the screen. What I want here is toggle behavior when the button is clicked. Next, I am going to define the arrow function using const display form and then call setAddForm function. Inside of it and change the default value. Instead of manually setting the value to true, I will put the opposite of the value of the addForm variable to it. Here we are. So that if the state value is false, it will be true, and if it is true, it will be false. Now we need to trigger that function if the user click the button. So button is happened inside the my component. Here, so in the app component, go to the my component element and pass the onAddForm attribute and point it to the function displayForm. And in my component we have the button element, and there we will listen to the onClick event and assign the prop as a value. So here I will replace this onClick with onAddForm. Save it and press the button, and here it appears. So just like that, it is going to toggle the form if I click the button. Now I want to change the button color dynamically when it toggle between. So at this point, I want to apply a class based on condition. I will change the button color based on state with the help of CSS styling. We already have the code in our app component here that use the prop active, and what it does is set a different class name side of the button element using the props. I have already explained how to add class conditionally in a style React. Watch it if you have not already. And also we have CSS style saved in the style component file. Here it is active and default. Now we can manage some extra piece of state in the app component using the const same destructuring pattern, variable name active and set active. And here specify the use it that's going to store the false and will update the value accordingly. Now I'm going to pass this state set active inside display form function and pass the argument active that work opposite of state stored value. So it has an expression not and then variable name. And the last we need to pass the JSX attribute active and pass the state variable as a value. Now save it. So inside the my component file, we have a props active that if it is true, then it is going to be apply the default class, and if it is false, it's going to apply the active class. So on the screen, when the button is toggle, the style of the button change dynamically. So at the same time, form appear and disappear when we click this button, and also it change the button color. That's all for today's guys. Let's end this video here. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and share, and if you are new, please check out the React tutorial playlist.